Good evening, good evening, good evening. Urban Nation Radio. This is Monday Night Love Sessions. We missed you all last week. Took a night off. So apologize for that. We're back, and I am Keila Trinae. We have Troy,
Dontrell Detroit.
Dontrell Troy,
Thank you.
and we are actually missing Miss Rowan tonight. She stayed in family, so hopefully she's listening in. Message for her. So let me do, as always, do the house cleaning. So this is Urban Nation Radio. You are listening on urbannationradio.listen2radio.com. You can follow us on Twitter, Urban Radio, Facebook, Urban Nation Radio. That's what I do. If you haven't already, go to facebook.com and put in Urban Nation Radio and like our page. I think we are like yet trying to get there to surpass that. So if y'all Facebook and like our page, also follow us on Instagram, Urban Nation Radio, and you can hear some of our archive shows on YouTube, Urban Nation Radio. Our email, unationradio.com. I know that was a mouthful. You probably didn't get any of it, but still go to Facebook to get on that nation.
I think you did.
So, I want to make sure you guys hear. We don't have mic issues, so if there's ever you can hear,
Just tell her to
go
speak into the
ahead
mic.
and yes, let me know. Just let me know to speak to the mic. Okay. Now, if you want to join our conversation on the message board, you are welcome to do so at any time. You go to the left side of the Urban Nation Radio page. You can click the link to open chat window, and you can join conversation. Later on this evening, we'll give you the number to call so that you can call in and join us as well. So I believe it was 2 weeks ago, Troy. Talk to you, Troy.
Okay.
All right, it was 2 weeks ago that I went to the Arsenio Hall show,
Okay.
and
Who did you see there?
I'm getting. I have to set it up. I have
Gotcha.
to set the atmosphere.
Ooh-wee.
And,
That's like.
and hey, stop.
Let's go.
So a couple weeks ago, I went to the Arsenio Hall show, and I went specifically to see Tyrese because I'm a big fan.
Okay. I'm glad that you admitted that. She's a big fan, y'all. Let it be
I'm
known.
a big fan.
Got
So
you.
what?
Got you recorded.
And I did not know that TGT was performed. So that was like an extra added bonus.
Nah, man.
So I was excited.
That's what's up.
Excited. Now, let me rewind. So for my birthday, my friend surprised me. They took me to see Tyrese TGT at Universal City Walk.
Right.
And at the time, I already had a CD, but they had to stay like, to back comment. You know what I mean? Like, how much is it? They're like, you have to buy a CD and like something else, like a T-shirt, a bag, or something like that.
Easy
And I was
for
like,
you.
wait a minute, I already have the CD. So me buying another CD, like that,
Be
it's
done
like I
that.
already have it. But anyway, they said you have to buy the combination.
So you bought the CD.
So I bought the CD again, okay, and they said that it comes with the performance, and then after it's a big 3. So I ended up getting 2 CDs, right? So 2 Tyrese CDs, one of which my sister has some kind that I originally bought,
Mm-hmm.
and then I have some. Fast forward, go see Tyrese. I
Tanks
see
the
him
best
on
one
the
in that group
Arsenio
anyway.
Hall show, and I didn't know TBT was. And in addition to that, he gave away for everyone in the audience. He gave a copy of the anthology, which I had heard about before, but I didn't even realize that it had come out. And I was super excited. And they gave everybody in the audience a copy of Fast 6, which again I already had, so now 2 copies.
No, you just double it up.
I know, but I'm gonna give it to my sister. because
I'm jealous.
she
I'm
doesn't
sitting right in
have
front of you.
facet, but that's family.
You got me.
That's,
You got
that's
me. You
love.
got me.
So,
But you
sorry.
know, she the homie too.
She
She the
first.
and she cute.
Yes.
Hold
So
on.
anyway, so as soon as I got the book, I was actually there with two of my good friends, and they have copies of the book. And so we decided that we would do like a book club type of thing. And so we started writing a couple chapters, came together. We talked about it. And it's been very interesting.
To say
And
the
so,
least.
yes, to say the least. Very interesting. So this is, I guess, my unofficial, non-paid plug for his manology book, Secrets of Your Man's Mind Field.
Which I need to run out.
Now,
immediately.
don't worry. I'm not going to get everything away. I'm really only going to touch on the first chapter. And that's pretty much that. And hopefully that's enough to stimulate our conversation for this evening, as well as to encourage people to go out and get the book.
Beyond stimulate the conversation.
Right.
It's enough to
Right.
shut it
Yeah.
down.
All of that. But see, the thing that I kind of got upset a little bit about was because I don't need anybody else to write another book, anything close to what I'm trying to write on my own. So it was almost like I made a note to self, and I'll show it to you. What does it say down here at the bottom?
It says, I need to finish my book. I can write every Monday.
Right?
Right.
So this was kind of like motivation for me to stop procrastinating and get on the ball and start writing.
Mm-hmm.
Finish writing.
How is your book going in?
I just told you that.
I know. I typically ask you that question.
Right. You know, but not even that. Here's my goal.
Excuses are tools of the confidence.
I know.
It's okay. The point is,
monuments of, you know, all of that.
yes.
Sorority and fraternity, people, y'all know about that shit. But the goal is to finish it for the summer, and then the summertime, spend that time.
Promote.
That's the goal.
We can take it.
That's the goal. To write as well.
Matter of fact, the one who's here, BJ, he wrote the book. He has a book.
Who?
BJ, the live story.
BJ, the one that stays in the house.
Is that what he told you?
I mean, he said he doesn't go out.
Oh, okay. Then yeah,
He's a homebody.
Yeah, he is a homebody. I'm sure he told you that. But yeah, he wrote a book. He has a book now.
Oh, okay. See, everybody's writing books. That makes me feel like I really need to just get with it and stop making excuses like you just said and get it done.
Because I started after you, and I'm in the middle of mine.
Excuse me. Don't rub it in my face. Okay. You can't come out with a book until after I come out. Those are
Got you.
just make sure that's clear. But anyway, so let me tell you.
You need to get a leash on your man.
Excuse me?
Get a leash on your man.
I need to get stop. Okay, what you're not gonna do is put our business on blast.
Are you about to?
Oh my. Anyway, so I love the fact that in the introduction he talks about. So it's not just Tyrese's book, and I love Rev because I used to watch Rev Run's house. Run's house all the time. I love how he's like a family man, and I love how he gives the balance in this book.
It's all about Diggy.
Because Tyrese, he kind of goes left sometimes, and then Rev Run, he kind of gives the voice of reason.
You call it a
because
voice of
he's
reason?
a spiritual man. I mean, Tyrese is spiritual too.
Right.
But, you know, Tyrese lives by his own rules, whereas
His own rules or the real rules?
No, Tyrese lives by his own.
And what rules do Rev Run live by?
God's. The word of God.
Okay. No, there's no refuting that, so just stop looking at me like that.
I'm reading the book. He not saying
So
Tyrese is not spiritual.
Rev Run is BC, and Tyrese is AD. Okay.
If you say it like that, love God. I'll put it this way: Rev Run is more traditional.
There you go.
Tyrese is not.
I bet they're different, but there you go.
Whatever. He's not here.
I think you angry at your.
You stop. See, I never said that. I said I was a fan. You're slandering my name right now.
Oh, can I? Well, let's not slander your name.
Yes, let's not.
Can I ask you a direct question?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Let's continue on. Do what you got to do.
The reason that they decided to write this book is specifically because they wanted to address women and somewhat like bridge the gap and heal the hurt that they know that women are experiencing at the hand of some not so great brothers. So they want to kind of share the insight or the real so that women get the other side and so that they don't fall prey to men who may try to manipulate or play tricks on their mom. So he does kind of let the men know they pick up the book to read it. Yeah, I'm probably gonna give some secrets, and y'all might not like some of the stuff that I'm going to say. But no, some of the. Oh, you mean like some of the secrets and not all? I mean, he gives what we're gonna talk about tonight. Yes, I feel like he gave a lot.
Let me tell you something. He says stuff in the book that I'm not even sure I do intentionally. Like, wait, I felt like I meant that at that point in time.
Yeah.
Was I lying?
No, but that was the whole part about when I was reading. I was just like, man, about nothing. Yup, I know somebody that. I know somebody that.
Do you? That's chapter 1.
Wait. Let me just tell you this. This is the introduction.
Go ahead.
This is what he says. He says, because as I was saying, the reason why he was writing, he has a daughter, and one of his biggest things is making sure that his daughter knows that she's beautiful, doesn't want her or to get manipulated, anything like that by men. So he says, I believe that almost all little girls start off believing that they're smart, beautiful, and can accomplish anything. But far too many have much of that beauty, confidence, and optimism stolen by some of the men they encounter. He wants to help women gain that confidence and positive outcome on their own so that they can, I guess, in the end, be a better woman for that better.
Right. I do. But
are you still?
Yeah.
Okay, because you seem confused.
No, I'm not.
That was very clear cut.
No, you were. It's just to me that's a contradiction in itself. Like, I'm not sure if you. I think it's one thing to give a woman certain information to better herself, but I'd have just ended it there. Now, based on what he's saying, like, I'm not even sure. I mean, anything I say, like,
what?
I said,
come on, spit it out.
I'm just saying, like, what better man? Based on what you saying, based on what he's saying, excuse me, I'm like.
Well, later on in the book, he kind of explains how certain men go through stages, and so there's a point in time man matures and gets to the stage in his life when all that other stuff is not working longer, and he's more focused on what he wants. So basically, as a woman, if you are dealing with any of these types that he's talking about, that he's exploiting, that you might think twice.
Right.
Save yourself some heartache.
But you see where the problem in there that lies?
No, you tell me.
You tell me when the man is done with that season.
Well, it depends. Every man is different.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Right.
You could have a person who doesn't necessarily have to go through that season, and he may be young. But if a woman reads his book,
no, that's not true though, because she's gonna know. She's gonna see the signs. I mean, if you're talking about based on the book, you'll know based on whatever the signs are. He mentions. I mean, not just he meaning Reverend. They mentioned it could be a. It really doesn't matter, but at the end of the day, you have to know as a woman, I would have to have my own self-worth, and I'm not putting on a man that by my bad decision as far as choosing in the first place. I can't put all that in and then in return, now I'm hurt, and now I don't mess with men.
I don't think you can put anything in it. Period. Now I get where he's going with this, and it's the same thing. That's what I was getting at you when I was saying when I thought you could hear me, and I was like, we told you the same thing, or I've told you the same thing about when we asked, like, hey, yeah, you have sex. My daughter have sex with a guy because she wants to. She chose him. It ain't got nothing to do with a pipe dream that he done sold you. So I get where it's coming from. My problem.
But our audience may not know what you're referring to or what you're talking about. So you have to provide them with the background.
Okay.
So we'll do this. We will play a song. Are we playing a clip? A song. Which is a clip song. And then we're going to come back and actually get the excerpt.
Okay.
Or a portion of the excerpt.
Wait.
And we'll do it in pieces.
Okay. Let's go. It's time to go to commercial. What a selection by, was that Reverend?
Well, what are you trying to say?
No, that's OG. What are you talking about?
No, but I mean, what was your point? You had a tone, you said it as if like now.
That was completely that you
you didn't answer, so you allowed me to infer.
I did.
You didn't say anything.
And I allowed you to go off on a tangent.
Right. That's not a tangent. I'm asking you a question.
You walked the plank and you just fell off of it.
Answer the question, Detroit.
No, Akila. That's not what I meant. Move on. Carry on.
So who was that?
Who was who?
The song we were just listening to.
You chose it. King of Rock.
You didn't. You got me choking in here. So anyway, we played that song, but this is before. Okay? This is before Rick Ross changed his life. Family, that his name. When he was doing that song, he was a hot mess. And he talks about that in the book, about what his life was like when he was a rock star, or when he thought he was a rock star, things he thought that he should have been doing to fulfill that role as a rock star. Even though maybe he really didn't want to, when it was drugs, having lots of women, drinking, partying, all that. Wasn't necessarily what he wanted to do, but it kind of
led to a better future.
It was a part of the lifestyle. I mean, it did lead to the future that he has now, but I felt like if he didn't change his life, then no. So it's like you have to kind of go down the road of destruction sometimes in order for you to understand and appreciate the life that you're to walk into it. So through that experience, he knows how to treat his wife. He knows how to treat his family. He's been out there, and he knows how to guide them. Say, you don't need all this. I've been there before. He said he almost lost his life due to partying. He lost his marriage due to partying because his mind was in a different state. So that's another part of like what's offered in technology. Just kind of giving again for women and men know. So men can read the book and just relate in the sense of agree or disagree, or share conversations with brothers.
Clearly, you want to talk to me.
And you don't have a book. You weren't invited, girl.
I really want to be. I really want.
Roll past that one, and you threw me off, so I don't even know my thoughts. Thank you, Detroit. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get into part of the first chapter, which we're gonna get into a discussion. So Detroit, take it away. Start our discussion.
So the magician part. And you tell me. I'm gonna read. You tell me when to stop. When to
project when I want to say something.
Yeah, we are bringing forth the excerpt. correct?
Yes, we are.
Okay, so I'm gonna read, and then you're gonna interject. Okay,
Yes.
so this is called Magician. I see similarities between what professional magicians do and professional manipulators. Magic is all about creating distractions. For instance, notice the way magicians speak when he's on stage. It's always very theatrical and a lot of hand movement. That's to create a distraction. He might wear a bright red handkerchief or be assisted by a beautiful woman for that same very reason, to create a good distraction. Everything a magician says, does, and intends to distract you from what you're really doing. He wants you to get so caught up in a loud voice, the hand motions, colors, and smoke that you never see him pull the card out of sleep. How I went about dealing with women was no different. I was a magician. I would have to master the art of distraction. But while magicians try to distract you from something that's intentionally concealed, as a magician, I was trying to distract women from the truth that was hidden in plain sight. Still going. Okay.
Yes.
And, and the truth was that they weren't very happy in our relationship. Now, just so you don't get the wrong idea, that they weren't happy in the relationship wasn't because I was a bad guy or treated them poorly or wasn't fun or didn't do things that showed them that I loved them. No, I was a good dude who treated them well, showed them an incredible time, and all put it down in the bedroom, if he may say so himself. And I would say so myself too.
No one asked you.
Yet, despite all that, they were often unhappy being with me, despite all the incredible things happening on the surface of the relationship. Deep down, they could sense that I'd never be as committed as they were. And they were right, of course. Yet, rather than address my lack of commitment, I tried to buy time with distractions.
Now, this is the good part. Keep going.
All right. The first things I pull out of my magician bag of tricks. Hey, why do you think they call them tricks? I want to look at that. Were simple diversions like money or gifts. In other words, if I sensed that a woman was getting hip to my runaround, I might surprise her with a new handbag, or perhaps I let her hold one of my credit cards, send her off to the.
And that's only people who got money. See, he could do that because he got money. Some of these broke Negroes, they do magician tricks with the little money they got.
Or if I was going to be busy in the studio, my old euphemism for seeing another woman that weekend, then I'd give her a couple of airline tickets so she could go visit her friends.
Okay, pause right there. Now this is okay. I was reading it. I was like, wow. When the I said wow.
Tell me why you said wow.
Because my ex told me he was busy in the studio.
He was busy in the studio.
He was busy in the studio.
Did he make music?
He was busy. He was getting busy in the studio. Real life. See, this is the thing that's really funny. And it's crazy because at the time of that relationship, I had no reason not to trust him. You get what I'm saying? Like, right. It was like, why not trust him? You telling me the truth or what I perceive to be the truth. I don't have any reason to try and go, sneak around, try and figure out until, a reason is given. Correct. So all of a sudden, and you didn't even read it yet, and I think that you probably whatever, but his behavior started to change, and that's one of the main things he mentions about the magician and the manipulator, which we're going to go back to later on, the manipulator.
Gotcha.
But his behavior started to change, and through his behavior change, certain things like if we were to talk all the time, because it was long distance, but if we were to talk all the time, slowly, now we can't talk anymore. Now, before, we could talk when you're in the studio, or we text when you're in the studio. But now, no cell phones are allowed in the studio. Now, tell me this, Detroit. What studio do you know that no cell phones are?
The majority of
them.
No. The majority of them, you are not allowed to bring cell phones. You have to be very important if it's a real studio. If you're dealing with a major studio, you better be very important, like the producer or the lead engineer or Puff Daddy, to have a cell phone in the studio. The number one rules in the studio is learn how to listen, be quiet. Period. If you can't listen and you can't be quiet, you can't be in the studio.
Because you don't know how to listen or be quiet.
See,
So I didn't ask the wrong person.
This is where we fail as
Now-
black people.
Now I can't even trust your answer.
Why?
Because you don't listen and you're never quiet.
First off, I listen to
So that
music,
means
and
you're never listening.
that's not true. In that setting,
Your
I listen
answer
and
is
I'm
more
quiet.
Valid.
Ah. Anywho, because I know what she's trying. I know what she's trying to do. I don't care. Okay, so this is one of my problems with what's going on, and not only just this excerpt, but this whole entire book coming from.
No. Let me just finish though. I
Okay.
wasn't done.
Go ahead.
So anyway, I just thought that was funny. I laughed. Really, I did. I laughed. I was sitting by myself.
I'm pretty sure you
And
almost fell out that chair.
I read that part, and I just started laughing because I just thought it was funny. Like, wow, now you're in the studio all the time. And I mean, it really did. It came down to, I mean, I got the truth. I really know, you know, she with the girl who she saved. So yes, he was in the studio. You know what I'm saying? But that was also another part. Another things came, which that's not the topic we're talking about. But I just thought that was funny because he was trying to throw in, you know, smoke screen. But it's like, dude, you don't have to do that. You don't even have to do that. There's no need for it.
Well, I mean, I think that came along with lost interest too.
What?
I think when things like that happen, when people do unnecessary magic, quote unquote, speak, it's because of a lost interest. Like if I still had your interest and I'm in the studio and I'm digging on another girl in the studio, if I was texting you before I was allowed to text, I'm gonna keep texting you because I got interest in you. Let's just say you were someone I want to touch and I have to touch it, but I'm her. The only reason I would stop texting you in the studio is because she took my interest away from me. Like you said, there's nothing you don't know. You believe everything that I said or saying. There's no reason for me to go and pull these unnecessary man tricks, like start not allowing us to text. You get what I'm saying? Unless I don't have any interest in you, it's like damn, every excuse that I come up with is I'm coming with, and it may be a byproduct of her, but it's only because I lost interest in you. If I wanted to do
I don't
both,
think that's the reason, but
I would think that.
I mean, no. I mean, I would admit it if it weren't, but I know that wasn't it. But if, for example, if someone is readily available at your feet, I think it's a lot easier
Right.
than if someone is away.
True, but that has nothing to do with. You're talking about easy access. Talking about keeping someone's attention.
I'm talking about magic tricks. That's what I'm talking about.
I thought you were talking about
Tricking.
unnecessary tricking.
But
Unnecessary magic
I'm
tricks.
saying it's unnecessary. But he may not have believed it was unnecessary. And that's basically what he's talking about.
Why do you believe it's unnecessary?
I believe that it's unnecessary because you don't have to trick. Just be honest and let me
Okay.
decide that.
Go
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
That's-
You was on stuff.
Right, exactly.
Go.
No, I'm done.
Oh, okay.
Because you wanted to make a point.
Oh, okay. Well, this is my whole problem in this whole book, and it's kind of funny because I don't know if you can. I'm about to say mutually affliction, but
Like the information from the book is going to somehow affect the way I look at every person.
no, not
That I
you per se,
encounter?
not
Or
not
women?
you. I'm
Women
talking
in
about me.
general.
I'm
Oh,
talking about
you.
me per se as far as the book goes,
Okay.
because I'm really traditional, like Rev Run. At the same time, I can live a life like Tyrese, and I can be very untraditional. But I understand where Rev Run is coming from. I just don't think it's necessarily the world today. But if you can find a girl who is very traditional, then fine. The problem is you setting yourself up for failure.
Wait. Repeat what you said again. You said you're traditional, but you can live like Tyrese?
Yeah, like I could not because I don't. Let me be careful because I don't slander mine. You know what I mean?
Slander your own name?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't want to give myself a bad reputation or anything like that. But
Okay.
or to be misinterpreted,
But, okay, go ahead. Say what you're going to say.
okay. I could easily. It's just I could easily sit in the house, be a family man, and only do family things. That would satisfy me. Like I could either. Prime example. We in
No,
the
I
city.
need you to explain
No,
this. I can be
this-
traditional
this-
and live like Tyrese.
I would have no problem because that's gonna kill my name. You just have to get you gonna run off the tangent with that. I don't even want to deal with you. I would have no problem moving to the country and being just happy. as slow as it is. Or I could be out here in LA
Okay.
doing everything above.
Doing everybody.
No, you can do it. I said doing everything above. I didn't mean get your mind out of the gutter while you. See, that's you trying to set me up.
These are things that you're saying. Go ahead. I'm listening.
But
I'm being a listener right now.
Okay, but
I'm in the studio.
I doubt it. But the point. Okay, you're listening. But the point is, what I'm saying is, I could be the family man, yet the life that Tyrese lived, I don't know. I think a lot of people. It's hard to say. I don't think it's hard to go and do that because nowadays that's where a lot of take you. Point blank. Period.
You're losing me.
But I'm almost losing myself because I'm trying to get it through to you. You spoke about seasons. Okay, he spoke about seasons, right?
Yes.
And from jump, I've always been a traditional person, so I didn't necessarily have to go through those seasons.
Traditional in what sense?
Traditional in the sense that I've always been married.
Hold on, time out. You've always been a man, so you never had cheated.
I've never dated two women. I've cheated. But the cheating.
It doesn't matter. You don't have to explain it.
No.
Keep
you
going.
Can't do that.
I'm listening. Traditional.
Cheating.
You've always been traditional.
Okay,
One woman man. Got it.
The cheating. But so I've always been church, family, God, Christ, that type of deal. And just with that. Then after I got cheated on, then I went through these very seasons that he's talking about. And
when you say he, we're talking about just
Tyrese.
For those who may be tuned in, Tyrese reference book, Manology, Secrets of Your Man's Mind. Go ahead.
Right. So I get cheated on, my mind gets corrupted, or I become an adolescent or immature, however. And then I go through these situations and look at things how Tyrese does. They go about the same way, and I get further away, so to speak, for a while than what like that traditional Rev Run lived as he was. Let's say I became the rock and roll that he was before he got saved. Then when space is gained and let's say you return to your right mind as I did, I go back to who I was born to be, which was just a calm soul, chilling, back to the one man. That's not my type of deal. I can't really run the street like that. It's not who I am. But I did go through those seasons after I was corrupted and got cheated on the worst way. So I get what he's saying, and I'm like, it's weird that they wrote it in the same book because you would get for men you would get a lot of confliction. I would think like, yeah, I'm Rev Run, but I've been Tyrese or I'm living Tyrese. Like this is.
Well, I think the thing about Rev Run is if you're Tyrese, you're Tyrese. If you're Rev Run, you're Rev Run. I don't believe that you're both. And the reason why I say that is because Rev Run, he went through, and I'm not going to even call it extreme. I say like he's very traditional in the sense of with his current wife, Justine, they didn't have sex before they got married.
Okay.
Like, and also he said they didn't even kiss.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So he waited until after they dated, they courted, all that stuff, to then have sex. And that's kind of the lifestyle that he preaches, to his family, or
right.
that, he tells them how to live. So the thing about it is, if you're talking about in the sense of this was the life, because again, Rev Run had his rock star life. That was before even kind of coming over to the side of I want to give my life to Christ and live this way. Once he did that, it was like then he to live and enjoy that. Not to say like he ain't made no mistakes or anything. That's not a picture of him being like this perfect man.
Oh, I was just checking.
But anyway, that's pretty much kind of what he stands by and what he's kind of bringing to this book. Whereas Tyrese, he's like, yeah, no, if you want to have sex and that's what you're feeling on that first night or whatever, get it in. You know what I mean? He's still saying I'm not a bad dude. You know, I love God, I pray, I'm spiritual, but I'm not really living by those traditions as the Bible would set
But
up.
see, I don't think he's saying just that. I also think he's saying I don't live by those for every woman, because he also talks about a woman that he's waited for. Now, granted, he said
No,
so.
no, no, no.
Wait. Let me
Yeah,
get
go
there.
ahead, finish your statement because I read the.
Granted, he hit us with the sidebar of what he was doing in between. In the meantime,
So that doesn't count. You can't, and that's the cold part about it. That's the magician part. I'm gonna let everybody know what he said without giving all. But basically, he said that in a situation, dealing with a woman decided, and she said, "You know what? I want to be celibate right now. I don't want to have sex." So he's like, "Cool," you know what I mean? Because he's not like pressing, women for that. It's not a big deal. But at the same time, he wasn't having sex with her, but he was having sex with other women.
Right.
At the same time, that's not the same thing as being celibate.
True, but on the same note,
now he's respecting her wishes for what she wants, but he's not joining in that process.
But where is he now? He's talking. I'm pretty sure he has a woman now. He's talking about things that don't matter.
Yes, he has a woman now.
Okay,
he has a woman now that he's getting it in with.
Right, but that same woman, because he went through those seasons. Because he went through those seasons, the woman that he chose to be with now, if it took him not sleeping with her,
yeah, but that's not the woman.
I know it's not the woman, but what I'm saying is because he endured those seasons, if it was his choice to abide by those rules.
Do you believe this that you're saying?
I do.
Okay. Continue.
Anyway, because he's matured, if he chose to abide by not sleep with a woman, I think he very well could and would without the sidebar.
Yeah, but at this time he hadn't reached his maturity point.
Right, at that time. But yes. I'm saying, but to my point, what I'm saying is, I think he can, if he can not sleep with a woman and be faithful because he's went through all of that. So he can be the traditional spiritual praying man that he has to be, needs to be, because he's grown, which will take him back to the extreme part of Rev Run, almost.
Yeah, but he doesn't agree with that part. That's all I'm saying.
Right, he doesn't agree with it. What I'm saying is, what I hear is I really believe he's a per woman basis.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm saying if the woman that he chose was a devout Christian, then he would go about it that route because he's older, and it wouldn't be an issue today. Back then,
I don't really think so.
I mean, of course. I mean, you guys are divorced, and he hurt you in the worst way, so you don't think he can be faithful to you.
All I'm saying is that we're going to move on to the next part.
Okay.
I stopped us.
Okay. So, do you want me to read right now? Before the night?
What time is it?
8.
What do you say? Okay. Well, yes. Continue.
Okay, so all those gestures were made under the guise of love, but in reality, they were just so many clouds of smoke meant to distract her from the fact that our relationship wasn't really going anywhere. Eventually, she starts to see through the smoke. Instead of saying thanks, boo, and running off to the mall, Janet down to Miami, she shake her head and say, "No, Reese, we need to talk. We need to figure out what we're going with this thing. All right." When those moments come down, when those moments come, do you think I surrendered and said, "Okay, baby, let's talk about this"? Of course not. Okay, so instead, when it was time to face the music,
to do some magic.
I just turned up the distraction instead. Yep. And the loudest distraction that I had at my disposal was elaborate romantic gestures. That's right. Whenever plain old trick.
Pause there. Tell me this. As a man, this is manology. You're a man. I'm going to now ask you, because obviously you may not have Tyrese money, but you got Detroit money. Okay. So, or other males that have played magic, whatever. What would be other? You looking at me like I'm not gonna answer this question. So instead of,
can we ask
what
that
he
question?
Would do on an elaborate level?
Can we ask that question after the break?
Why can't I ask it now?
Because I want you to ask it. I just want somebody else to address the question.
Okay, well, somebody else can address it and come back to it too, right?
It takes proper production. But okay, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'll take it.
You'll take. See, now you've ruined the moment. We're gonna go to a song.
Thank you. Praise Moses. Oh.
We're going to a song.
You ready?
Yeah. All right. So, we're back. This is Urban Nation Radio, Monday Night Love Sessions. I'm Akila Trinae. We have Detroit, and we have a special city guest that just popped up, arrived, and is about to join the conversation. I'll let him introduce himself in a moment, but while he's preparing himself, I will go to housekeeping. That's all I'm saying. Please go to Facebook.com and like our page. If you like the page on Facebook, you'll be able to get our updates on shows that we're doing. You'll get updates on different events that we may be a part of and just everything that's going on with Urban Nation Radio. And then you'll be able to get the links to our Twitter and Instagram pages as well. So just make sure that you go to Facebook.com and you like the page. So this evening, we're talking about Manology, Secrets of Your Man's Mind, revealed by Tyrese Gibson and Red Run. Now, as to not spoil the entire book for you all, because I do encourage everybody to go out and read it. I mean, reading is fundamental. As a teacher, I just believe that people should just read. It's great stimulation. But just to kind of generate conversation, talk about conversation, talk and all that. You're raising your hand like we're in class. I'm not teaching right now, but what would you like to say, Detroit?
I just wanted you to explain to the world what reading is fundamental.
You said why?
I said why?
No,
it's just one of those, not cliches, but some things I think really goes over a lot of people.
Okay, well, reading is important because it stimulates your mind, allows you to go into deeper thought and use critical thinking. And then it helps you to write better. The more you read, the better you write, the better you speak,
and
the better you communicate. And there.
But anyway, so you posed the question.
Yes, I sort of posed the question.
You sure posed the question.
I guess, because you were using your magic tricks and reading my mind. And you figured what I was going to say, which you probably did. And
I'm going to let her have that one. Okay. But the reason why I stalled had nothing to do with that, but that's because I wanted somebody else to give their take on it because they, know somebody personally. They're closer to this than what I am. And they're very smart. Somebody from another show called The Get Down. The Get Down. It's another internet radio show. Check it out. It's from Roscoe's Media Center. This is my boy, Elijah Johnson. Welcome.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, but you gotta speak a little loud.
Okay.
You can use your sexy voice for her. Yeah.
That's right there.
So, if we can reiterate the question, so he could answer.
You were getting ready to read into the part where Tyrese was going into an explanation of how, when it seems as though his woman is starting to see maybe that he is trying to, pull the wool over her eyes, he turns it up. That means the magic tricks, the smoke, and all of that. He turns it up, and he does more. He turns up the romance, is what he was getting ready to say. And whether it's trips, whether it's special dinners, I'm going to fly you out here, and the works. I know that Tyrese can do that. Tyrese has Tyrese one. So I was going to ask you on some regular man.
Average Joe.
Average Joe. Your everyday black man magic tricks that do. I was asking you that. And then refer to EJ, who's going to share kind of what we were talking about.
Well, for that question, a typical man, a regular guy like myself, regular male, the truth is really the biggest trick. Because every female here what they and sometimes live, but tell the whole face truth, you'll be surprised if it's serious.
And I totally believe that. I was going to share with you over the break. So I went to this event called Bonds, that happens last Saturday of
second
the
to
month.
last Saturday.
In Inglewood, California. And so several guys got up and they spoke about whatever the topic is. But the response from the women based on men were saying was like, oh, whatever, take the mic. He's stupid, like, And I'm thinking in my head, like, this dude is being honest, as just honest can be. And women don't really want to see it as that, because as a woman, you have your preconceived notions. You believe what you want to believe in your mind, because obviously we're thinking as women. Women, men don't think the same and don't operate the same. So it was just funny to watch them really just be like, oh, no, he don't know what he's talking about. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you're clearly talking about a man and his opinion, how he thinks, but yet and still now you're saying that he doesn't know what he's talking about and you don't believe it. So there are two ways of what you were talking about. A man can tell the truth and she will not believe it because she's like, oh, no, you're not really telling me that. I don't. Or a man can tell the truth and he's using the truth to his advantage, and then the woman becomes manipulated by that truth. You know what I mean? Because he'll say, I mean, I told you I was messing with this other girl here, and you had no problem with it then, so why you have a problem with it now? I was honest. You know what I mean? Seen it.
Right. At that point, does it become?
No.
Oh,
it's still the man. You know what I mean? But
that tone, basically.
No, I was just joking. But you're right.
It's like it's crazy with that because, like she, the guys speaking, or, giving their opinion at this event, and don't get me wrong, some guys lie to make themselves look good. Right. The thing about that is, you can tell liars. Oh yeah, I drive this car. Well, let's go outside and get a car. Oh, I didn't drive today. Right. That way, then you have those that tell the truth, and it's like, oh, I have this. Oh, but where is it? And they pull it out and they show you that. And it's like you can't separate the two. You can only call out, and sometimes you call out. It works in your favor. Sometimes it doesn't. But for the most part, it's like truth. There is nothing a guy can do besides tell. It doesn't matter how much money you have. Right. If you look at a lady in her eyes and tell her the truth, either she's gonna say, I don't care, or you know what? Let me think. Because
go back and weigh options. Now
let me think.
I don't want to be alone. What's up, my dude? I handle this.
Yeah.
But okay, so I had EJ speak on that first before I gave mine. Because I knew he was closer to that, and he's pretty smart in that area. And I want people to hear that the trick is the truth, and that was what I was getting at when I told you before we started. Like, it's uneasy reading this because, for the most part, I don't lie. I may get stuff wrong. I may be ignorant to something, but I don't lie, especially when it's a pet peeve. Right. I don't lie. But he's saying stuff in this book that makes me feel disingenuous for telling the truth, understanding that now I'm unnaturally manipulating her because I'm telling her the truth. How I'm reading like I really felt like, So now it's like, all right, if I'm coming to a situation, now I'm thinking, because at first I was thinking how possibly could a woman read this book and still feel safe being courted by a gentleman and feeling like things are genuine.
I think it does kind of blur the lines a little bit, but I mean you're not supposed to take anything but the gospel as gospel in that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like this book is more just it gives you another side, which I just like to various things anyway, and it just helps to broaden my perspective. I look at things one way instead of having tunnel vision.
Can it hurt you?
It makes it larger. I don't know if it would hurt. I would feel more if it would hurt, but I think that it could in some way hinder progression in a way. You know what I'm saying? Or it may take a little longer
Well, and
for someone if in the recording stages maybe. But I mean, at the end of the day, people learn to read stuff, and they're still going to do what they want to do at the end. Just like if you were to read a book, if you Detroit or you EJ wrote a dissertation on how you are, let's just say, and I know it's not true.
Right.
I don't know it's not true. I just say it's not true. That you are with another woman outside of the woman, right?
Mm.
And you wrote this long letter book, whatever, outline, explaining all this other stuff. You gave it to the woman that you're telling about.
Correct.
A woman will read that, take it, say, "Oh, okay," tell me the truth. Going back to that truth factor. And then if she wants to be with him, and it doesn't matter, even though it's going to hurt to stay with him, that he's honest about it, she's still going to stay because that is what she wants to do from jump. It doesn't matter what he says because that's what she wants. You get what I'm saying? Same thing with this. If there's a man that is manipulating or using magician tricks, whatever, she's still going to deal with him regardless, knowing what the situation is. Doesn't really matter.
And not to cut you off, but typically, a guy of Tyrese' stature, does he can be right here, another standing across, and she would see that still.
Exactly.
And that's why it comes to a guy because it's the same thing to, like you say, I can tell a girl I'm engaged, and I'm still treating her like a queen, pull out the chair, open the door. That right there is manipulating her because she's not used to that.
Right. In
Even
her
though
mind,
I'm
she's
not
like,
trying.
"Oh,
He
he's a
loves
good
me,
dude. He doing this for me. He's spending time. He all."
and I can do that for every single old lady that walks in the mall. But if I did it for her, she'll take it like a proposal.
Right.
That's the difference. That's what separates. It wouldn't matter if I have a Tyrese. A girl look at me and say, he ain't got Tyrese money, but he treat me like a queen.
Right.
I can go deal with Tyrese, and I know for a fact that he
got up it. Now,
wait. I just want to read this because this basically reiterates what you were just saying.
nah, you
Kind
can't.
of.
You killed
But I'm
that.
trying.
Okay, but okay.
Okay,
well,
wait. I found it. So he says that hold on. The dream.
get it
So
together.
basically, he was talking about when he sings and he's performing and all that. The dream of having a man stare into their eyes and ask, "Would you be my sweet love of a lifetime?" The dream of having a lover call them out of the just to ask, "Have I told you lately that I love you?" The dream of a man taking them by the hand and saying, "Girl, I want to take the time and thank you for putting up with me. Even though I made you cry, I want to make it right." But since women rarely, if ever, hear those words from their own man, they make sure that they're going to get close up to that stage and hear them from me. The irony, of course, is that even though I've always delivered those songs from the bottom of my heart for many years, my actions were constantly singing a different tune. Even though I knew most women were searching for that love of a lifetime, I wasn't thinking much past the love of a nighttime.
That's a bet. Even that's a bet.
think about that. There's 20,000 people at this concert. He's looking. Every time he looks at a different female, she goes crazy. Standing right next to the girl he was singing to 20 seconds ago.
Yeah, that was me.
And-
I was like, "Oh my God, Tyrese!"
And if he would've-
look, he's
and-
looking at me.
And
All
if
right,
he
well,
would have put either one of those females, he would have put them up, and they both went like the other one there.
you're right.
And
that's the sad part. That's what I had to have a self-reflection about, EJ, because
But-
I was like,
but-
why is that?
Because
get what
we're
I'm saying?
talking about the nature of a man and the nature in that of a woman.
Right? No. But the thing about it was exactly what you were saying is that fantasy is the dream, is that everything that he's singing about that he is. You get what I'm saying? Because he couldn't be Juicy J doing that same thing because Juicy J ain't giving you wrong.
See,
Right.
In his performance.
Tyrese was to walk down these stairs right now. That book go out to just garage.
And I'm already knowing. During the interview, question, we talked about fantasy. And I asked you something related to fantasy. I don't know if it's kind of fantasy. I can't remember. But it was about fantasy. I'll get back to it. But it was a long time. But you were talking about now. But the question I do want to ask though, because you've clearly illustrated this point, and I want you to genuinely answer this question. And anybody out there listening, if there is a woman, you can answer this question too. Is then, granted, we're deemed the manipulators. And you've spoken about a woman making their choice, as you have too, DJ, regardless if you presented yourself in the right and she decided to have it, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how much fault is a woman really at, and how much of it?
Everyone has to take their own fault for it. You get what I'm saying? If they're presented with an opportunity of truth, then I feel like you hear the truth and you take that truth, you know what you want to do anyway, if you get hurt by it, then you have fault in it just as much as he may have fault in it for whatever it is. But now if that truth isn't offered, or the truth is offered in a way that is like very misleading, because people can mislead. Like you can give half truths or somewhat try and share the truth, but still give it in a manipulating way, like the way that you deliver.
Okay, but that's
your motive behind it. That's
okay,
what I'm
but right, and that still takes us back to manology, which makes
no,
both.
You asked me to.
No, you're right. No, you're right. But to me, that makes both people cope, and I don't think based on what you're saying, I don't think every.
But you're trying to put blame on women.
I'm
but
not
I
necessarily.
I think that if the men, in my opinion, when it comes to since a woman wants to be courted by a man, which means that a man has power in that situation. So if a woman wants to be courted by a particular man, then she is hoping that that man will deliver all those things, that whatever fantasies that she has in her mind, a perfect guy or a gentleman or whatever, she's hoping that he will deliver those things. Now,
False. She's hoping that he delivers things. Yes. In the course of him being whoever he is, if he hits a few, if it's 10 of those things, he hits 5. Unknowingly. The other 5, he's horrible. You choose him still. He's giving you complete truth. Is he at fault if he doesn't leave you? Is that the reason why he's coping with the situation as well? Yeah. I agree that in probably 90% of the situations, there's two parties that that are at fault. What I'm saying is, EJ, you've come across a lot of the girls that want to fix men up, and do that. We know how that goes. Man gives you truth. I have not much. You know what I mean? You see potential in it. We know potential just stands for ain't done nothing yet.
Wait. Let me answer. Let me just say this, okay? Because one of the things that he mentions and he talks about is when women have a tendency to talk and to share and to overshare. And they share a lot of what may have been their past early to a man who doesn't really know them very well, but now has been given information to use at his disposal. So with this information that you learn and that you get, you can use that to manipulate that woman in a sense of maybe you're not doing it on purpose, but because you knew that the guy that she was with did X, Y, and Z because she shared that with you early on, now you are going to maneuver to try and avoid maybe doing that same thing because you knew that that was the demise of whatever their relationship was, or that it hurt her, or whatever. So as a woman, we're not really given that insight initially because men are not in the initial phases quick to share and or expose their past or their history. So a woman, that the other side of it would be if a woman like knew about you before, and then she knew all your stuff. Because it can go both ways, but we're not talking about women. Yeah. We're more so talking about the man knowledge part of it. So what I'm saying is, a man can take that information that she has shared, and now he is going to move and act and do based on whatever information that he has that was either given, or what he expects, or what he thinks, and what he knows of what a woman wants. Like, because you can't sit here and tell me that a man does not know, for the most part. You have a sister, a mother, a auntie, or daughter, or niece, or whatever. You know what the majority of women want, and it's very simple. And he talked about it with the whole romance thing, and taking care of that, just whole idea of someone is going to love and care, and just give me the work type of thing, right? So as a man, you're going to, in the initial phases, present the world, even though you may not really have the world. And then you're going to use those things to get whatever you want out of that situation. And I'm going to say, and this this kind of like goes back to one of the conversations that they were having on. But at the end of the day, that what you want, or that you're wanting, is that nighttime. Is what he's talking about. You want to smash. Right. And he talks about it in the clip, I'll play it tonight, whatever. But that's kind of the deal. So you give the dinners and flowers and cars and candy, because at the end of the day, you want to smash. But
in my case, dinners, candy, trips don't work. I can't do it. But
so what do you use?
I don't. Truth shall set you free. But as you were saying, sometimes get a guy, for example, I do myself, I don't typically approach people to talk in other manners, but my approach. We can both walk to the mall. I'll pull the door. That's different down south.
Right. Doesn't happen very much in LA.
So now that right there sparks your interest. Now you're like, myself, no ring. You first, thank you. So now that right there, that right there is that dinner, because you may get dinner. You may go out every day with an asshole. Never put your chair out. Right. And you come across a guy that's not giving anything financial. Right. And
I think that's what it is.
That's told him nothing. What it is. He knows nothing about your personal life, but he's doing every single thing that you want. Now,
but that's basically what the thing is. As a woman, not feeling like a man wants something from you. Like, you're going into, okay, what is it that you want?
That
you did this, why you did it? What
and
you want?
I don't try. It makes you want, like, and it's like, it's confusing. But
it's insulting. It's like, you don't want this?
You don't want this? Like,
you don't want this. This fire, man. This is fire, man. Yes, you didn't know.
So and that's the thing, because you get like, I have a daughter, I have a fiance, I have a mother that I love, and the last thing I want is them to go out and feel like just because of God, they have to turn. Right. So I live my life. I may not try, people flirt. Not flirting. I look people up. Like, because I want you to know that I'm not trying to run a game. Look at me in my eyes, and you know I'm genuine. That's how, and that's how you see somebody, and they'll like. When I talk to my daughter, I tell her, look me in my face, because I want you to understand. I don't think I'm mad at you in my face. No matter how mad say they are, you look them in the eyes, you can see right through. They may not be mad, but they know that you're mad.
You going into like even other stuff.
Yeah, but all in all, that if a man does the right thing, it doesn't matter what he has. It's like they're giving so many things that they're doing, but in general, a general regular guy, we open the door, come to your house, see something, pick it up. Or if you got a kid, tie their shoe up, like that. It's a lot of different stimulate a female mind to make them think. So that, I mean, don't get me wrong, they are hitting some key points, but then just look at it from one perspective. You know, it doesn't even take that.
No, it doesn't.
It don't. He was just going
I
over
was
in
just,
the deep.
I know it's a lot, but it doesn't take that. I can, like, you can be out somewhere, and I can help you get in your car. But like, in your mind, I have to do something to help. Right, and that's all it takes.
I guess problem with some of the stuff. The man-out situation. I was in the club one time, and there was a guy who liked her, and she kind of liked the dude. He had been flirting for years, but on this given night, she was loaded, and really, nothing ended up happening. But we go to Denny's after, and he was finally feeling him, I guess, but he didn't ask the right questions. I was looking for a reason to do something tonight, but he just didn't. You know, really, if he had said, "Come on," you know, I'd have went. You know, but he never really. You know, yeah, I guess tonight he just wasn't feeling it. But I was like, whatever,
Sitting here
chill
with
it.
my
Right.
pants
But I was,
on. I got
you know what I mean, I was just feeling it, and
Hello.
I'm like, for real. And she was like, "Oh yeah, girls all the time. Girls are all confused." And to that point, you know, it's like men paint a facade because they get a facade, and it bothers me because I will ask you counter to what you just said, and it was all true. At what point in truth, as he speaks out, at what point in truth or in all honesty does it become manipulation?
Said, at what point? I mean, I think it's just the way that it's used. You know what I mean? The way that you use that information. Like the truth is the truth. And a genuine person is a genuine person. And at the end of the day, just like you were saying when you're talking about looking eyes, if you know a person or if you allow yourself to really get to know a person, who they are, then you'll know them, and you can make those decisions to decide, well, you know what? I know that this is his truth. I know that he may be flawed, but I'm still okay with whatever the situation is. And he is not delivering that information in order to somehow get over. The magician part of what they're talking about is I'm giving you this information or I'm trying to manipulate because I have something else going on here or that I'm doing over here that is counteractive to what we have on here. Now, as EJ shared, if you're giving your truth and that's genuine truth, and I'm giving this truth because this is what I'm trying to build with this relationship that we have here, then, you know, that's what it is. But if I'm trying to give you this truth so that I can also be over here, and do what I want to do, then that's manipulation. You're telling the truth. You're also, you know what you're doing.
It's manipulation. It becomes manipulation. You're doing it to try to make something happen. Because I can tell you the truth. I'm telling you the truth because you want to make you like me. It may make you hate. Or I may tell you the truth, like, you know what? I got a girlfriend, I'm going home. Yeah, I'm gone. And now, tell the truth. Now, next time when I say I'm going to stay, get before I go.
But that's what I'm like. In all, I know to me, in honesty, it don't matter whether it's lie, honesty. At the point you develop an ulterior manipulation or whatever, I get that.
Right.
I was saying just if I tell you something, let's take the opposing side. Maybe it'll make you understand me better. Why do women consistently give up pretty information that makes them want to be manipulated?
Well, I don't think that that's something that you're like.
Exactly. Because what you were about to say would come from a point of all honesty, unintentional. We just really just talking and this information comes out. This is how the conversation goes. Men withdraw, women go forth and give, and they're just more tender. So, and it's not intentional.
Yes, but here's this. This could be the other side, and this could be far fetched. You know, I don't know if who would. But when information is coming your way, and it seems as though, oh no, this is too much. Not too much like I can't handle it too much, but like too much, I don't need to know this yet. How many men would really just say, wait, hold up. We don't have to talk about it. You don't have to tell me that. Not yet. Because honestly, it's just like what you're saying with this book. Once you hear it and you get it, you know it, you can't take it out. You can't take it back. So if it seems as though someone is going to tell you some information that may somehow sever some relationship with it, just like gossip. Like, oh, no, I don't hear that gossip. Because after you hear the gossip, you got it. I mean, there's no way you can go past this. I know that about that person. So when that person comes around,
like,
that's what I'm going to think about because I done heard the gossip. But if
Nigga
I never
musty.
heard it, you know what I'm saying? If I never heard it, I would have been able to interact with that person the same way. But because now I have that new information that I could use to my advantage, it's just like people like girls who they think they friends. They tell them all their business, and as soon as they get upset with each other, they go out and they blast them everywhere. Right?
Like
they
you wouldn't know when
use
they gave
all
it
that
on.
information that they had against them. You get what I'm saying? So had they not had that information, they wouldn't have been able to use it. But the thing about this scenario is, if it seems like too much for a man, especially if it's a man who's like, you know, I want to learn these things about you just through our interactions and through our relationship growth. Then he was like, you know what? I don't even need to know all. Like some stuff we really don't need to know. Sometimes it's just like it can really separate. Detroit, I want to know your sexual history. Tell me about every woman that you was with and all that.
It wouldn't go like that.
But I'm saying you.
No, yeah,
I'm saying
would,
like some people are like, you know, I'm honest. She asked me to. I'm just telling her, or vice versa. It's like, wait a minute, that information can somehow hinder that relationship and the interaction because you're going to start thinking about all the information that you have and then trying to use that. Let me try and do what she didn't do. Let me try and, you get what I'm saying?
Wouldn't that come with education, though, since that one, understanding tongue in the sport, and two, really just having enough of those examples prior to having enough dates with the, because having enough, you know how,
but
you
you're
just know
talking
women are different.
about a lot of people, you said, really it seems like you're talking about having those examples and having that experience prior, but then you also have, and I'm not, and I'm really on no side of our sense of, I know that there are some men who really just, they haven't really had the experience of having great, what you call mentors in their life. Men who are genuine about the reality of what goes in life, about marriage and relationships and family and providing and things like that. Like a lot of times, you know, dudes will give other dudes or men will give other men false information. You get what I'm saying? Like they'll try and I'm gonna give you the game of how it is, knowing that that's not really the game that they, you know, fathers to sons go out, you know, and get all the women you can. Like, you know, you didn't have all the women you could. So why are we now passing down or sharing this information, this false information, so that people believe that? I think we were talking about like the reality TV and how people see the images and people are growing up thinking like, oh, I could really do that. Like that really happens. I could really have two chicks and be over here and they can just interact with all one big happy family. But that's because that's what they see and that's what they believe because that's what they're fed. You know, instead of being able to see, you know, the other side, which I'm sure you gentlemen have had and seen and experienced, so you can be that genuine dude. You know, y'all know some trifling dudes.
All day.
I ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah.
Under the bus.
But you get what I'm saying. So it's like, and I think that even without me knowing, you know, personally, but I think that y'all can see somebody like that and just kind of shake your head to it, like, come on.
It's disgusting because, like I said, I got a sister, and it's hard to get guys to try to go out as much as possible. So hard in society. Don't get me wrong, I'm saying you can't. It's just so hard. But get those guys that tell your sister, tell your daughter, don't worry about the type of guy you don't need. And type of guy. So like, what you can't say no to, you can't make them not talk to every guy. But then it's like, you know what's going to happen already because you've been that probably that guy at some point. And it's like you have to let them live. it's so stupid because they have to go with that because if they don't go through it, when they get someone that's good, they're going to treat them as if they're trash.
Right.
And those
that's
guys
the
are
bad
so
part.
unattractive.
It's like how you can get a girl with your pants around your knee, dude?
With a belt on, it always kills me.
With skinny
I-
pull your
I-
pants up now you flooded.
Even-
I don't
You
understand.
know what? I
it.
wanted
I'm
the
back.
same thing.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
The sagging, I'd be like, it's stupid, but to me, it get real stupid when you got a belt on. I'd be like, just sag without a belt.
But no, they locked it at
I mean-
that point.
I mean,
like,
it's-
I'm
so
now
it's tight.
It's not
you feel me?
moving from around their thighs.
It
Man,
kills
look,
me.
if you don't pull your
No, but I think in the poem I read a few days ago, day or before that, to me it was about nice guys finishing nice, and it was no, it wasn't. It was we were reflecting like what was something negative about yourself. I think nice guys finish last. I was too nice growing up, but to your point, like you would love for your daughter to find Tim Tebow, you feel me? But Tim Tebow is probably the only person that's attractive that every girl
Tim
wants.
Tebow.
But football player, he's like the living saint. But now Tim in Catholic Alabama quarterback. Can't think of his name. Tim. AJ McCarron.
Nobody know who y'all talking about.
But the point is that dude that you probably want your daughter to date, he's so they don't like him. You feel me? He got everything not going for himself. He's not publicized. He there's no attraction to him. You feel me? And then,
Oh wait, is Tim Tebow the one?
Yeah.
Okay,
But
got
see, the
it.
thing about that is, it's not even to the point of having the nerve. It's just the point of
no,
having a
not the
guy
nerd.
that knows how to respect a lady.
No, I'm not talking. But I'm not even talking
No,
about a
no,
nerd.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Oh, yeah.
separate. You get those guys that's like you say, like Tim Tebow, that are born. But then it's like you can be born and respect a lady and have fun. I'm the most boring person ever. I don't do anything, but I know how to respect a lady. I can go to the mall, tattoos and all. They'll look at me and want to turn it back, but I open the door and I'll stand there. It's like
you're a polite thug. You feel me? So I get that.
And that's what I'm
Polite
saying. You
thug.
don't have to be the manipulator all of the time.
And I don't think, guys, I'm just saying, for those who don't showcase that they or showcase that they're not, I think they get overlooked because they're not presented as the or
Well, I will say that can be true, but it also it just makes it very difficult from a woman's perspective when you have experience or you know the manipulation with a male who is claiming to be that genuine nice guy. It's hard. It's very hard to believe that, to see that, or whatever. So you guys have to understand that a lot of women have been through a lot of filth. So when someone does come genuine, it's you're very skeptical. You raise an eyebrow because you're like, all right, he say this. It could be one of those too good to be true type scenario. It's not fair, but it's the same way from man to woman, woman to man. And not being fair to be manipulated by someone who appears to be a great, genuine guy, and then they flip it on you. And then,
But to add on what you're saying, for the genuine guys that are genuine, flip it, they be and they're being honest. So it's like, open doors. He's so nice. He texts me. He makes sure I'm okay. And that's the flip part. That's where the flip comes in. Because it's too good to be true.
Right.
It's like, man, he's doing everything on everything. How can the guy with girlfriend do everything right, but the guy without girlfriend can't do nothing? Like, how the hell can he make me feel like I need to go?
But that's why he got a girlfriend. That's why he got a girlfriend. And even to that point, like I share with you, is why I lock myself in a closet when I get a girlfriend. Because largely the things that I do can be misinterpreted or would make my then girlfriend uncomfortable.
Right.
I'll take you out. I can bring you out, and it be just. But you know how we are. We try our best to be good dudes. We try our best.
That's what Brett Brown basically talking about. He said he goes to make sure that Justine has no reason to distrust him, to feel as though lying to, make her feel comfortable. Like, he goes great lengths. So he said he will not be in a room with a woman by himself because he doesn't want her to even think of anything. He said when he calls his baby mom or his baby mom, he puts it on speakerphone so that she can hear the entire conversation. Does he have to do it? He said no, he doesn't. But he does it as an extra gesture for her to basically make her feel comfortable. So he goes above and beyond just for that reason. So he made it fun. He interacting with people in that way, but he's like, it's only so far he'll allow himself to go because he doesn't want her to feel some type of way. Or he'll bring her along. So it's like, you come along with me so that you can see, what's
That's
going
what
on
I do.
here.
I invite my I say I don't think that there's something hidden because that now so like I do show Jay and I make appearances. Like I said, I so many different people and I invite her to come and I go out. It's like, are you serious? Like, it's like what? Like that doesn't determine me that you need to be there too. Because if you can't come out with I don't get any.
But I believe that you probably established with her early on from day one. You get what I'm saying? And it's like people are going to show you at some in that interaction. People look past it and they see what they want to see in the mind and say, okay, this is what I want it to be. But at the end of the day, I told you, you want to go down that road. That's what you want to go down that road from day one. You want to do it how you want it in a relationship. Thought that maybe he's going to drop her and then come to you. But, the way that you went about that whole scenario, that same thing can happen to you too.
Right.
And then you go get that.
Or you heard if in fact he died because he didn't leave her for you. And it's like, oh, I thought he liked me. He might have, but not in this world, not in this lifetime, not right now. Okay, would have been cool, but I'm in a relationship.
Right.
I think a lot of sad things about myself because it is true. I think a lot of most men have, and this is scandalous. Most men really might only have one story, traumatic story.
Oh yeah, y'all don't get hurt multiple times, and that doesn't make sense to me.
But that means you can't go by stuff like that. I think if you don't get hurt, can't grow.
Yeah, but women adapt to that.
No, we don't adapt to it.
How can you adapt to getting your feelings, your heart broken?
That's something that.
I'm saying you adapt to it, but I'm saying they're willing to go back, to that situation. And you know what, this one, or he's different.
I will say that we are built for a painful experience.
I think you're emotionally stronger than me. Period.
If
not that one.
I'm gonna give you this, so y'all can see. You look in Genesis, talk about. But if you look in Genesis, it talks about as a woman that her pain not give her a child, but a lot of her pain, stress, business is a company, and that's biblical. So it's like, as a woman, you can't really avoid it, and then, so that's why I say that we are, made in that way to be able to maneuver. Because as a woman, you have to endure, bear so much because God made us that way. You get what I'm saying? But that doesn't mean that as a man.
Eve, that's why.
You say what?
Eve, that's why.
But that doesn't mean as a man that you can't allow yourself to go into situations to potentially get hurt as well.
Depends.
I mean, but like she said, it may not be bad. It may be birth. Give birth to a child. That's going to be the pain.
Well, I think that the pain will too.
that pain right there. That pain is something you can't avoid. You have to go through pain. So regardless
Yeah,
of how
but let's.
good regardless of how good you're being, how good you are, like you
It's
said,
gonna
pain is
something.
gonna come because regardless.
With childbirth. I hate.
But the thing was, the thing with her, I can't even compare that. She had no labor pain. She didn't have contraction, but she didn't feel that pain inside the hospital, talking on subject. They gave her, and she said, "I'm on my toe." So I mean, but the thing is, we made something that should have been painful happen. I know that, but I was there because sometimes the pain is not having that. But once
to me, homie.
again, it's coming because the pain is coming. Because some people go through that, like, work pain, but
But I have more.
but now if it's not worth it, they're like, I'm not doing it by myself.
Right.
I'm not doing that by myself. It's not about I'm not.
Right. You want
And that's how
Yeah,
most
God,
surfing
right.
and
gonna
that's life. I mean, that's the other part of life. Life is gonna bring out all kinds of trials,
And you
but you want somebody who will be right there
right
to go through it
And
with
now,
you, who's not gonna be trying to manipulate
and
you.
that's
do
and
that
that
process.
that's where it comes in
Why such conviction looking at me?
because it's only like 3 people. I'm not really looking back, but
She was talking to you though and broke
that's
that.
where me being honest to a female, telling her I have a relationship, I'm committed, I have no idea or no plans on me, but she knows that I'm for her all the time. That's where tolerate I'll do that. That's where that comes.
Right. And
No,
she's
there-
like, well, he's here in some form, some fashion.
Yeah.
So
That's all
I'm
I
now
need.
okay with it because now I kind of have somebody who's going to help me through these different things. Like, they'll take a piece of a women will take a piece of a man. Like, any pieces they can, I'll take this piece. And then she can have all, but I just take this piece.
My piece, like,
It's coming.
No,
When
it got
when
to.
I write my,
That's
it's not going to be called womenology.
I'm just saying because I don't. Why I do. My granny used to say it all the time. Chill. Yeah, chill. Yeah, it's them.
like, wait,
It's the joke.
I'm sorry.
I told you. I already made that joke by myself.
My
though.
bad.
Hello. I'm connected to the Lord.
But no, you know, cause I was, you know me, you know, it's like, you know,
I don't know.
well, she has a joke like, oh, Detroit think he is whatever, you know, and my grandma, like, have confidence, have self-esteem, you know. And one day, you know, I got some girl and I was just so happy, like, Granny, I did this, she's like, Granny, she like, baby, it ain't you, she chose you, and I'm like. No, I definitely liked her. You know, like I definitely went and told her that I, you know, that I liked her. She's
Not into
like, right. And she was like, last time you tried to get at somebody else, I was like, you know, back in the shit. What happened with that? I'm like, she didn't.
Tell you, your granny, she's a smart lady.
But anyway, this book is funny because I was gonna call you, talk about, you know, feeling one way, thinking another way, and if you could live in, like, if your morals and beliefs can be such, I don't know how to explain it. Like, could you live as an oxymoron? Like, is that possible? Like, to be in constant confliction.
Yeah. Flesh and spirit.
I guess. But,
Conscience and
and I get that, but I don't think all things have to necessarily be so different, so opposite ends of the spectrum. But I guess that is the majority of what what I'm getting at. But I mean, granted, a lot of these things are, especially when you talk about sex before marriage, doing it, but not do it.
But I told you, even just a minute ago, when I was talking about that I'm a fan of Tyrese. And even in this book, well, like I said, after the book, he talks about, you know,
You should.
but I should, but don't. But what I'm saying is that even hearing that, him being in a relationship, like one way I saw him when he was single, and then him being in a relationship, to me, it changed something. Like, because I'm automatically, somebody, oh,
Right.
you got somebody. Right. Whereas other people, like you were saying, that might be like, that may make them more. Not the case for me. But anyway, so prior
They're gonna
to
turn.
the,
look. It don't mean nothing.
it does. Let me tell you this. So prior to this, prior to reading the book, it was like what I was sharing. I can possibly give that example. He's singing to one lady, and I'm like, oh no, he's singing like, I'm telling my friend who was there with me, I'm telling her like, girl, you better move out the way. Like, you walk up this way, I knock you out. He ain't come over. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
It just brings that out of you. And I was talking to SB the year
right.
About the same things. Remember, I came from the show at that time. He's like, well, what makes a person? What is it about a person that one woman will say, I want to do all the different things. One person comes on athlete, but somebody with a lot of singer or something like that, that they would throw all of that away. You know what I'm saying? To be with that one person. And then he was like, well, I just think they would have done it all along anyway. And so that's kind of what you're talking about in living in confliction. So yes, there are certain things like, it doesn't have to be Tyrese. It could be another man that's just amazingly great, or is that fantasy that's in my mind.
Oh.
And all of that stuff that I said, will be thrown out the window for that person because they,
they're the exception.
They're the exception to the rule. But at the same time, that still is something that comes from within, and then that is that battle of, hey, no, I'm trying to have a world. It's the same way with people who say, I would talk to a married man, or I would date someone. Then somebody comes along and they're married, but they're drawn to that person, and then they end up in a relationship with that person. And they say, I told myself I would never date a man, but now they're in the midst of a relationship with a man. You get what I'm saying? But this is what they said that they would never do. Because in their mind, any married man that has come or that was in their life or whatever was not a part of that fantasy. But then when the fantasy man comes, or who they believe would embody everything that they would imagine, when he comes along, everything goes out. And it's like, now I want to be. So I believe that women encounter that all the time. That's why they end up in those relationships. Take a piece of it, or they deal with a lot of stress and agony and all that stuff because of the simple fact of part of whatever fantasy they're living in their mind is being fulfilled for them. In that, even though it's not the full piece, it's 5 of the things on that list of 10.
Right.
But that's enough at the time until they get to a point where they're like,
sick and tired.
This is not enough anymore. I'm not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Because a man don't change. He's the same. She changed the same way with a man reaching his level of maturity. The woman didn't change. He just got to the point where he decided that this is enough. She didn't just start doing random tricks and he's like, yeah, I got to stay down. She just, amazing. No, he just got to the point where he decided this is not cool anymore. He went to the club and it wasn't fun. It was just kind of like, really?
Do women change or do they mature?
Women mature, yes. Their priorities
But they don't change.
No. I'm saying it's the same thing. It's
okay.
not that the other person did anything to.
Okay, I was just clarifying because men don't change. They mature.
No.
I'm
saying
we
I'm
all
saying
mature.
I'm saying they both mature.
No, I get you.
Until they want that change for themselves. That's all I'm saying.
I was just making clear.
Change.
But
But.
Wow. Deacon EJ.
I appreciate both of you, and we are discussing man uh, the end of our show. So, Lewis, we'll play one more song right now. No, don't play the song.
We should have played just one song at least, but we can't. God.
You ain't got nothing.
Nothing.
Wait, now he yelling. He get a little feisty, y'all.
We normally
man get bust.
we normally go out with a song though.
I know. No, he says he has one. You do, but he wants us to end the show.
Oh.
I got it. I
Right.
got it. I come for that.
Don't kill his vibe.
Oh, let me just say this because that reminds me.
And the
This
Grammy.
has nothing to do with manology, but it does because he's a man.
Uh-huh.
He killed it on the Grammys with radio.
Yeah, he did.
That performance, I
Was
was
acting.
like watching from my TV. I was there.
That was acting.
I was like bobbing my head, like I don't even bob my head to like rap music like that. And he was like going in, and I was like going in with him. I was like, oh, kill him, Kendrick.
He went. A matter of fact, he watched it,
Made me mad that he lost
or that he
to
didn't. Win.
Macklemore. I mean, I don't have nothing against Macklemore.
But you, and what's scandalous is, if you look at the graphic,
So what do they?
they vote. They open. They disclose undisclosed voting right before the show, and they do it by region.
Okay.
And California was all Kendrick, but the rest of the world was Macklemore. Segregated, like nobody else even got into double digits in percentages. They're like 6, 8, whatever.
Well, I was kind of without having that knowledge. I was explaining that to our producer. I was just saying that I believe that it's not just like talking about lyrics. You know, that's not what they're voting on. You know what I'm saying? They're looking at the whole.
It's appeal, and it's like
But
fabulous.
also his content, Macklemore's content reaches way more people.
And that's
versus
right. That's what Fab said on the show. They was like, "Are you surprised?" Watching First Take, Fab, are you surprised that Kendrick didn't win anything? And he was like, "No." He was like, because he was like he reaches so many different people. He was like, as to where he just reach one type of
right.
But demographic, yeah. And he's not. He was like, "Now it would be surprising if Macklemore had a Teal."
Right.
He was like, "Now that would have been surprising."
Right.
He was like, but to that point of Macklemore, he was like, name an artist who has one of the best CDs. He was like 50 Cent. He was like, that CD might still be selling. He doesn't have. He won't win a Grammy for it, like, but it's about feel to.
Right.
He was like, the Grammy is about the national stage, who's running the world. Like that's the Grammy. It's put, and there was like any politics in it. And it was just a look like. Of course. So I mean, and that's what it was. So like, once I saw the white rapper, and I already knew because I saw the voting before, but even when I saw the white rapper, they are. The Seattle Washington,
That's how I'm like.
which was crazy because Crawford for 37, he's from Seattle Washington. T. Ross went 51, he's from Washington. And Seattle.
I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying, like, I didn't know. So I couldn't place him in a particular area. But
and his music is diverse too. He raps there.
Wait,
When I heard him,
But-
I didn't even know he was black. I didn't know. Then I saw the video. Like, oh, that's white.
Track
Anybody
skill.
white who looks black.
I I don't want to feel bad no more. I'm like up there like, hey,
Right.
yeah, it's high. I don't care. But that's what it is. Anyway, man,
We got one more minute.
Manology. Get it, read it,
Good book. You know,
comment on Facebook about it. Next week starts February.
it
And
does.
February, month. This one talk about things that I'm excited about.
And things that I know. I don't get no sound effect. Shady. Shady business.
But anyway, I want to thank you, DJ, for stopping by.
The DJ. From
to get down RMClive.com.
Tell us.
We are a truthful show. Try to hit all areas. Try to get our show launching back with February 5th. And the thing is, trying to separate ourselves from the get all the red that same thing. Like you guys think out the but you got big topic. So that's to get down.
This stuff is archived, so they can go see it now if they want to.
Right now, RMClive.com, RMClive.com. Check it out. There are a lot of people that get a taste of everything. Reality. Get some of everything. But just come in. I got a lot of stuff. I didn't think that deep got to the shit. Got me over here telling secrets,
Right.
and I didn't think I was gonna be telling.
Dry
And you
snitching.
feel me? And I was up there with clothes on, going at it. Yeah, but that's what it is. It's like you want to stimulate your mind. Like that's it. That's hard. Get back. Get back. Make comments. And that makes a lot of sense. Tonight, nothing, but as near as you drop that, I'm trying to make that last time. This industry can't be uplifted, peer uplifted,
Right.
but not right.
I'm gonna say this. DJ was talking about shopping at the thrift shop. This whole watch is blinding my eyes. That's what he do. He saved
Save
his
my money.
tips to buy jewelry.
Yes.
I got it. I
I
figured it
do.
out.
That's
But
what
we
you
thank you.
Right.
We thank Ms. Roro. Enjoyed and listened and enjoying your night off tonight.
Yeah, we missed you,
That
Miss
means you
Roro.
don't get no nights off for a little while.
Roreezy.
Appreciate you all listening. And we'll see you next week.
We outie. Peace. Deuces and trays.
Oh no, stop doing